Thanks a lot for coming this evening and making this event a success. First of all, before starting, I'll quickly just cover where for people, for those who haven't been here before, I'm sure most of you have been here before. But on the left-hand side, you've got if you go from these doors, on your right-hand side, sorry, on my left-hand side, if you go from here and then turn left and then immediate right, you've got the ladies and the gents there. And also, no alarm, fire alarm or anything like that. No testing is scheduled for this evening. So if it rings, it's for real. And we're fortunate to sat next to the fire exit, front and at the back as well. So just make your way out if it happens. I hope it doesn't, but if it does, please make your way out and there's space outside there to basically go and stay as well. Before I start, first of all, thank you very much for the guests for coming here as well. They've taken time out and I'm really cordially grateful. I'll introduce some of you as well, I'm sure you know me. But my name is Gohar, Almass. I'm the Secretary General for South Leeds Community Alliance. And also, tonight's event is hosted by the South Leeds Community Alliance as well. Our friend here, Shahab and Sufyan Saab, has very kindly sort of given us time to come and speak about this very, very important organization, which I think, after you've sort of listened to the presentation and watched the presentation and what MEND does, I don't want to take it away from you guys, so I'll just leave it to the experts to tell you what MEND is all about. But before we start, I'd actually request Irfan Tahir to kindly come along and recite a few verses from the Holy Quran. Please, Irfan Tahir.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم تر كيف فعل ربك بأصحاب الفيل ألم يجعل كيد.
So, the regional manager for MEND for this organization for Yorkshire and Humberside. So it covers quite a big area for MEND. I've known Shahab to formally introduce you to the person who'd be facilitating the event as well. I've known him when he was a student at Leeds University, and he organized an excellent event in terms of Muslim Young Leadership Summit, and that was very, very successful. And he was one of the key people and one of the main people to organize it and make it a success and bring and invite people from around the globe. People from America, from Asia and from Europe and the UK attended that summit. And I was really impressed by the way he conducted that. He's, as you know, he's a radio presenter and DJ. He's also actually a graduate in international development with East Asian Studies as his specialty. He's currently completing his Masters in Media and International Development. He's done a lot of on-campus unity and diversity events and has actually been part of various societies and so on as well. And he actually takes pride in bringing faith and cultures together. Recently I saw him in one of the conferences at Oxford University as well. So I'm really, really sort of happy and a proud brother that he is from within our community. And these are the kind of people and young people we need from within our community to lead us in future as well. So please give him a round of applause. Brother Shahab,
Gohar have insisted he wanted to introduce me like that. You know, we're here to deal with a really important topic, that of Islamophobia as well. I'm the regional manager for MEND, which stands for Muslim Engagement and Development. And basically, I just want to introduce MEND briefly as well. It works in three fields: that of the media, that of politics, and that of grassroots development of people as well. Can everybody hear me? Is it quite clear? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Fantastic. Well, and on Islamophobia, I would like just to share that it's quite a shame that we're actually standing here and that something or someone like MEND has to exist because of this real. Richard Bergen, the Labour candidate of East Leeds, so we're very much looking forward to what he has to say. And of course, Mr. Gohar Almass Khan will wrap it up at the end as well. And please do remain for dinner. We aim to finish today's talks by 8 o'clock, so we can have dinner at 8 o'clock. So without further ado, I would like to introduce Councillor Iqbal to come and say a few words.
Brothers, sisters, Assalamu alaikum, good evening. Well, I've got a very special connection with the guests here who have been good enough to come and attend tonight's conference in my kingdom. Although my empire is shrinking day by day, I used to be the king of Leeds once, 7 years ago when I was the Lord Mayor, and now it's my patch, the City and Hunslet ward, which you're sitting in, so I'm the local councillor for this area. However, I thought I'd be one of the, it's only a comment, not a criticism. I thought that could be maybe the last speaker. I was working out where I'm going to be fitted in, but as it happens, I think it fits well for me to greet you and give you extensive greetings on behalf of citizens of Leeds and City and Hunslet ward. For the first time, usually I speak off the cuff. I'm not a great speaker, but the first time I did a bit of research. And I thought, I've been asked to be a keynote speaker, but I think I'll cut it short looking at the time as well. And there's people who are going to deliver very important specialist speech, which is called East Leeds, which has a legacy of selecting really good candidates, people who are down to earth and are people's people who want to work, the working class people, work and support the working class people. So hopefully we will work together and see Richard Bergen as our Member of Parliament for East Leeds and a voice for Leeds, voice for all the communities and the Muslims and the disadvantaged communities. So welcome, Richard. And of course, not forgetting that my sister Kosa Jan with her glasses here, she reminds me of that film, Matilda and whatever, being a teacher. I'm sorry, sister, forgive me. But
you mean Mrs. Trunchbull, that's what he's trying to say in a roundabout fashion. Thank you, brother.
But she is I respect her like my older sister, and obviously when she's in the room, I have to be careful from any mischief or any whatever. And of course, my dear brother Gohar Almass Khan, who's the General Secretary of South East Community Alliance, who works tirelessly for this organisation and is the host of tonight's event. So thank you for listening to me. I mean, Islamophobia, again, I think my main speech is done. I'll cut it short because I'll let the experts speak on the things that they specialise in, like Mark, in terms of policing. And I was very pleased to see, and Mark's got the documents, that the police, West Yorkshire, I've written it somewhere, and
With the microphone, I often say this, that I'm a teacher, so you should be able to hear my voice right at the back. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes? Fantastic. Okay. I'm going to try and keep this succinct, as the brother just said. I'm going to give you a quick run through about Islamophobia, what I think are the causes and potential cures. And anybody who was here on Wednesday, I apologise in advance. You might see a few of the slides that I used on Wednesday repeated today, but that's message abundancy, so it'll be a good thing. Okay, if we start, just so that we're all on the same page, looking at what Islamophobia is. Islamophobia was a term that was first introduced as a concept in 1991 by the Runnymede Trust, and the report defined it as unfounded hostility towards Muslims and therefore fear or dislike of all Muslims. And I'd go on, it's not just about Muslims but Islam itself generally. And unfortunately, this is an illness that's crept into our society. It's been here, it's actually, instead of actually sort of decreasing, being treated, it unfortunately seems to be bubbling, and there's danger that it could become a terminal illness, and it's something that
I have a lot of time to improvise when I'm sitting on the hot seat on radio, but when you're here, you have to improvise right in front of you guys. Thank you very much, Kosa Jan. Words of wisdom, definitely worth a contemplation and reflection as well. And I'm sure Sufyan is going to add to that as well. I just want to briefly introduce Gohar Sahab said, introduce everyone properly as well. I forgot to introduce Councillor Sahab properly, but I'm sure everyone knows him as well. I just want to introduce Sufyan. Sufyan Ismail is a serial entrepreneur and founding managing director of MEND. His role in MEND is to provide regular strategic input to the working model alongside being a regular speaker on the MEND circuit. Sufyan is also responsible overall for the entire MEND operation. He graduated from the University of Manchester in corporate finance and economics and commenced his professional training with Deloitte. Is that right? Is that how you pronounce it?
Very good, yeah.
Deloitte, right, okay.
With Deloitte.
From 2001 onwards, Sufyan has launched a string of business ventures involving financial services, private equity, wealth consultancy, and built a global real estate portfolio. And Sufyan and his business ventures have won numerous accolades and awards over the years, including Shell Livewire's NW Entrepreneur of the Year and Fastest Growing Company, along with regular entries in the prestigious Sunday Times Top 100 Fast Track and Profit Track corporate listings. And Sufyan is also extensively involved in humanitarian relief work across the globe with countless charities and often pays field visits personally to oversee projects. Sufyan has also has a keen interest in Islamic finance and has authored numerous academic papers in Islamic finance arena alongside publishing a university textbook on this subject as well. So we have him here today and he's going to give us a thorough, hopefully a thorough presentation on the causes and cures of Islamophobia.
Right then. Evening and Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. Do they not serve Weetabix in Leeds? Do you remember that old advert? Have you had your Weetabix? Yeah?
We had halwa puri.
You had halwa puri. It's clearly not good enough, madam, is it? Yeah? We try that again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh. That's a lot better, isn't it? Yeah. For those people not familiar with the greeting of salam, it's just peace and blessings be upon you. So always nice if you take the trouble to give it, that you receive it as well, isn't it? It's a good win here. I wish it once on all of you, and I get 50, 100 back in return. So it's a good trade-off. Now first I must apologise.
Yorkshire Police Authority and has been the counsellor for Castleford Central and Glasshoughton.
Glasshoughton.
Glasshoughton. Is that the Yorkshire way you say it? Glasshoughton. Glasshoughton ward since the Wakefield District Council elections in 1998. So please, Mike.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening. I was actually here on Wednesday of this week at a similar event with some of the speakers that you've heard from already, but not Sufyan. And obviously, what Sufyan has just sort of presented is quite stark, isn't it? In some of the statistics and some of the attitudes and the way the media report on things. And I can assure you, as your Police and Crime Commissioner, I often get quite frustrated with the media as well on a number of issues, and I think we've all got a duty to challenge things in the media that are not right. But regarding tonight, just a little bit about me. As has been said, I was elected as your first Police and Crime Commissioner in West Yorkshire in November 2012, nearly 2 years ago. I've lived and worked in West Yorkshire all my life. Graduated from Bradford University in History and Politics some time ago now. So I've travelled around and I know West Yorkshire pretty well in terms of some of the communities and the diverse communities that we have, and I'm very proud of being your police and crime commissioner. And I wanted to come along this evening because it's already been touched upon, but I want to just tell you about the work that I'm doing with West Yorkshire Police to try and...
Can we all just welcome Gohar Saab? If it's okay, can I ask you to just to conduct the Q&A session?
Yes, sure.
And then I'll be here.
I'll borrow your pen.
You said.
Right, okay. I've got a bad throat, so can't really talk
As loud as Richard Berg and as passionately as he did. So, well, I can't, to be honest, I can't add much to what the speakers have said. I can only add from a totally different perspective, and I think most of the things were covered quite eloquently and articulated in a way that, I wish I could, like Brother Sufyan and Richard Berg, and the way Councillor Iqbal and Councillor Jan, sister, sort of gave the community perspective side of things, and from the school side of things, and the way Mark Byrne-Williamson sort of gave the angle from the authorities and from the police side of things. I think it was absolutely brilliant. So I can't really add much to it. However, I cannot stress more, and I must thank Qari Asim Saab, who kindly gave me his time as well, because he was going to speak as well, and he says, you know what, people are getting a bit sort of, desperate to have their biryani, so I'll give you my 5 minutes as well. So thanks a lot, Qari Saab, for coming, and Qari Saab MB for coming and participating, and most importantly, giving me 2 minutes as well. So thank you very much. Not many people do that. And I hope you're having an event shortly with Mend as well at Makkah Mosque. So I thought just to plug that in as well. So before I forget, by the way, we are having an event here at the Hamara Centre, celebrating diversity and so on. And Councillor Iqbal Sahib and myself are on that panel, Community Development Fund, and we funded some of the organisations and what have you. There'll be Eastern European community, the African community, Afro-Caribbeans, Asians, and the indigenous people. They'll be participating. There'll be dance, music, intercontinental buffet. So if any of you wish to come, please be our guest. It will be between 2:30 to 6 o'clock next Sunday, right here at this place. Couple of things before I forget. I mean, Islamophobia, I haven't come as prepared as Richard, and I'm really inspired. It's really, really good to see Richard, somebody with the true Labour values and sticking to the old true Labour values of what Labour actually believes in and believed in. I would like to see more of you, in fact, sitting and representing my party, and I'm proud of you, really. And I cannot stress more on this terminology, very loosely used, at the moment by some very irresponsible people. We live in a Britain which at the moment is unfortunately divided. I would not like to raise my 2 little girls who are here tonight as well in divided Britain. I'd like to grow up in United Kingdom and United Britain, where people from all colours, all races, all religions are respected and given equal opportunity, and celebrate the diversity of this beautiful city. We need to look at the positives as well, not just the negative. Islamophobia, Islamophobia, Islamophobia. Great, and I appreciate people elaborating on Islamophobia. But we don't want this term to become another cliche, another race card kind of thing, where people actually used it so wrongly in some cases that they actually killed the actual meaning of the word. So we need to be, I think people like yourself need to educate people more on when and how to use what Islamophobia actually means as well. We also need to communicate and engage with the media. Rather than fighting the media, we need to engage with the media and try to understand why that news is selling. What is the reason behind it? And Richard quite rightly said, why didn't we have a lot more Islamophobic incidents in the old Labour government in 1997-98? Because we were in the boom. The economy was booming. People were, they were buying houses, they were buying properties, they were buying things, they were buying, at the Christmas we had a lot more shoppers shopping at the Christmas and so on. It's all economically linked. And talking about scapegoating and all that, unfortunately, in a way, the whole world is xenophobic. We don't like change. We don't like different people. Wherever you go in the world, even in my country, if you go to my country, you'll see exactly Pakistan, where I come from. You'll see xenophobia. You'll see people who don't like different people. In this country, we need to celebrate it. To be honest, there's a lot of good people. I'll give you an example. EDL came to Leeds, and Sally and Steve and Sister Kosa is there. Believe you me, out of our Muslim community, and there's I think more than 60 or 70,000 Muslims living in Leeds. We only had about 6 or 7 people, Muslim people, and the rest, the whole, if you like, if you look at the whole people protesting against the EDL, was our people, are the host community. So things are not that bad. There's a lot of good in the good people in the community. There's a lot of good people who cannot see. There's some other things as well. Ghettoization. We look at Islamophobia, we look at xenophobia, we look at people being racist and all that, and at the same time, there's reverse of it as well. There's parts of Bradford, right? Because I deal with a lot of people. My friends are, from different faiths and all that. There's a lot of people who actually experienced racism from our own Muslim youth in Bradford. People actually spitting on people, on young women, saying you need to go and dress appropriately before you come into our streets. I think that's wrong as well, and we need condemnation like that. People burning poppies, for example. That incident has happened. We need to condemn that openly and unequivocally. Whatever ISIS is doing, whatever Taliban's were doing, whatever Al-Qaeda is doing, I think more Muslim leadership need to come out and condemn it. Sharia zone. We live in a country, for example, and these are quite controversial things I'm touching as well. What do you mean by Sharia zone in London? What do you mean by living in a country where people cannot come and, for example, go to their pub if there's a pub there? You cannot stop people. People didn't stop you going to the mosque. Equally, you cannot stop people coming if you've got a local pub to go in their pub as well. We need to look at these things and we need to be addressing that as well. I think we should respect the law of the land. We cannot be good Muslims until we're not good citizens and we're not good human beings. So, talking of Islamophobia is great, but we need to be looking at these things as well. And as leaders like yourself, we need to be condemning whatever is happening on the other side of the picture very, very openly and explicitly as well. A couple of more things as well that I'd like to add, because I've just taken some notes there. Also, another thing, sometimes what happens is these kind of things come up and use it as an industry, right? We need to be absolutely clear, and people like Sufyan Bhai needs to be very, very clear and convey this message to these these organizations, that they're in touch, people like himself, they're in touch with the grassroots level organizations, they're in touch with the communities, and they need to be telling people that these terms should be only responsibly used, otherwise we will lose the meaning as well. I'm proud to be a Muslim, I am proud to be British, and I'm proud to be a citizen of Leeds. And I would like to grow with the same identity as Muslims, as British, and the citizens, law-abiding citizens of Leeds. Thank you very much.
Online, so we wouldn't want you to miss that. So we'll have about 10 minutes going start for a Q&A session.
Yeah. Any questions, please? Sally.
It's not so much a question, it's more an observation. Steve and I have just been to Wakefield to see the film We Are the Many, which I have to say I recommend absolutely, because it's about the origins of the Stop the War movement. And on our way back, we were talking about 7/7, because obviously here, that has residents here. And I have to say I'm very, very proud of our community response after 7/7. I think we did a fantastic job standing together. I think, everything that we did, the peace marches, the Training Park, held this community together, and I'm very proud to say I'm a member of the peaceful community. I think it's really important. But we need to try and think about how we keep that going, particularly as it's been said, next year could be a very difficult month. I have to say also, as a member of the National Union of Teachers, it isn't just Muslims that Daily Mail hates. It also hates us as well. Yes, it does hate us as well. And the reason it hates us is because it just hates lovely people, doesn't it? But it is because of the way that we've stood up. And I was thinking particularly about the stuff around the Trojan horse in Bradford and Birmingham, because to be honest, if they're not, if it's pure Islamophobia, as a teacher, I will tell you a little secret. Boys and girls tend to sit separately if they get the choice. It happens, they're teenagers. We also teach sex separately as well, in occasions. This is nothing to do with Islamophobia, this is to do with education. And actually what they did to those Birmingham schools often was political, disgusting, and was about stereotypes. So what I'm really trying to say that our union stood against it. So my question is, Cozy and I have got thousands of these manifestos, so we hope that you will take them away with you and we'll get some endorsements from the top table, etc. Because we believe as a union about equality, about fighting discrimination, no one's
with regards to child sexual exploitation and how the media has covered